right, welcome everybody. Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here. Just wanted to hop on, give you guys a quick update on what's going on in the skies, and hopefully my audio is working right. I actually have a body down here on the right side now instead of a monkey, and so it appears to be working right. So we will press on. So for those of you that watched the video last night from Donald J. Trump, my initial knee-jerk reaction was it was patriotic, but I probably went overboard a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I was butthurt level Bravo when I felt like he was just throwing in the towel. But as I slept on it, looked at it again, I think he didn't say anything about conceding. He didn't say anything about Biden. So I think the plan is still in play. And then I watched last night a whole bunch of activity going on across the United States that looked promising. So, let's see what happens. I think we are now to the point where we're going to have to see some action here pretty soon out of our president. And I think it's coming. All my intel sources were telling me that there was going to be a military op right after the first of the year. And we're still right after the first of the year. And I think we've got now about 12 days until the inauguration is supposed to take place. And so I think between now and then, we're going to see it. I keep getting word that the EBS, the emergency broadcast system, is going to fire off here pretty soon. I'm hearing other rumors about different things next week. One thing I will tell you guys, please, before it hits the fan, if you have the means to do so, go just take care of, get some water, get some dry goods, get your stuff knocked down and locked down, and get your plan kind of ready to go, because I do think we are getting close. And anyway, without further ado, so there was speculation that POTUS was in Abilene, Texas, and we saw some indications that he was indeed there. But I will tell you, I also heard from people on staff or had friends on staff at the White House who said he was there. He presented some medals to people. And so I don't know. I didn't see, other than Nightwatch exfilling from DC and going in hot to Abilene, Texas, to Dyess Air Force Base, I didn't really see anything past that. I did see some very interesting things take place yesterday. We saw a couple fighters look like they intercepted a B-52 that was in the area, which was kind of wild to watch that take place. I did post that on Twitter, but they were dancing around up there in the sky for a little while, and it was just kind of an interesting thing. And then, of course, once the B-52 decided he was just going to go ahead straight to Shreveport, it looked like the fighter also just basically chased, stayed right there with him the whole way. So interesting times. So, all right, with that said, right now we've got 280 aircraft up. I do have persistence on because I'm trying to save what's on my screen. That's going to skew our number a little bit. It's not going to go crazy, but it may be sitting about 10 to 15, maybe a little bit more high right now. And so the number's pretty close to average, which is about 250. And so as I pull this together, I'm going to kind of zoom in here. I want to show you guys as we start to look. Now, these are, here's a couple data points for you, okay? We've got some AWACS, two AWACS over Mexico. You can see them out just kind of doing their little fly arounds here. So there seems to be something, I don't know what it is, and I'm going to show you in a minute. I don't know if they're maybe taking care of the red flag stuff, but they would be, it seems to me like they would be over here in the Nellis area. But my understanding, there is an active red flag going on at Nellis Air Force Base that kicked up, I think, Monday, if I'm not mistaken. So got another B-52. Looks like it just exfilled out of Shreveport. Just took off. It's sitting at 26,000 feet, and it's headed westbound, probably back out here where this was before. Now, this is Abilene right here on my, as you guys can see, so I'm marking that. Now, that's the location where we think that POTUS was. Now, I will tell you, Nightwatch has just exited Abilene, okay? And so now you've got, for those of you, I'm going to show you Nightwatch. If you're our first time, a lot of folks have already seen this. I usually try to show it just so you guys are kind of savvy on what this thing, what to look for and what it looks like. But as you can see, Nightwatch is very, very similar to Air Force One. It doesn't have that light blue, sky blue color and the nice shiny silver underbelly on it or anything, but it is still very similar. It's got some additional electronic suites on it. As you can see, all of these little bumps all the way down this are different types of antennas and electronic stuff. So this little hump right here is also that. So now my understanding is that this aircraft right here is it's can't be affected by EMP, electromagnetic pulse, which is a little different than most of the other stuff out there, because if you truly have an EMP and it's at a high enough altitude and it affects the airplanes, these bad dudes, I don't know if they fall out of the sky, but I can tell you their nav equipment is not going to be working. But if the engines are still working, if it didn't fry, I guess fuel pumps will be toast. So yeah, it would be raining airplanes, I think, if we had an EMP and we had a lot of airplanes up, which we do. If I took that U button off right there, you would see there are close to, there are thousands and thousands of aircraft up in the sky right now. So, all right, so Nightwatch is on the move. We're going to see where that goes. I do have him tracked here as well. He left, here it is at Dice Air Force Base out of Abilene, and we're watching him on this. He appears to be going north right now, so let's see where he goes. Since the fact that he didn't go back to the White House is kind of a telling that maybe POTUS was not there, and that the talks that POTUS was still at in Washington, D.C., which kind of, I don't know, troubles me a little bit, I have to say, because for those that were watching some of the videos that POTUS put together, they certainly did appear to be green screened. And I would even say that if you looked at some of the latest videos, the last one he posted, they got me kind of a little bit fired up. It almost looked like it was computer generated. It did not look like it was real. So like a deep fake or something, right? So, all right. So look, so we go across here. I'm just kind of looking to see what we got in the sky. Venus 93 is up. So that looks like that bird. Let's get up here over DC, take a closer look. So it looks like that's landing, coming out of out by Syracuse, up in upstate New York, it looks like. And more tankers, some C-17s, more tankers, a lot of tankers. Here's a SAM flight right there, 737 SAM flight. So that's a blue and white. That looks like it's coming out of north of Nashville. So Clarksville, coming out of Clarksville, Tennessee. There's a lot of traffic up, a lot of traffic. So, and a lot of tankers, it looks like. Florida has just been really hot lately with traffic. I normally don't see this much stuff over this area of Florida. We do see it in the Panhandle, all these little trainers flying, little T-37s. That's actually a PC-12, but little prop jobs. Same thing here, little Tex 2 trainer. But these C-130s, there seem to be a lot of C-130s down in Florida. So some H-60s and another H-60 down here. Actually, it's a AS-65, so that's looks like a Coast Guard. So, all right, so we're going to keep our eye on the states. Let's look over California. Now, I said there was a red flag going on over Nellis. Still seeing kind of the same stuff here. C-130, P-3, so that's a sub-hunter. Got a V-22 on the ground, H-60 flying around, and then we've got this tanker. Shows me we got fighters, right? Dash 8, another tanker, and a P-8. So, and P-8 is coming out. Where did that P-8 come out of? It looks like it came out of Dallas. So that P-8 looks to take off out of maybe Fort Worth Naval Air Station. No, actually that's not. University Park. I don't know where that came out of. Louisville. So that looks almost like DFW Airport, but it's not. It's actually east of DFW Airport. There's our B-52 coming across over downtown Dallas right now. So interesting. Don't really see P-8s come out of this area very often. It's kind of a strange thing. I figured Carswell or something, but all right, let's go take a look out. I'm gonna back up here. We're gonna look at Hawaii. Let the screen marinate for a minute. Let me close this out so we get a little more insight, and then I'll go. So this is as we're looking at Hawaii. Hawaii looks to be pretty quiet right now. So we are actually left of Pelosi, and got a C-17. Looks like out here in the middle of the Pacific. And we're going to go out in a minute here to the Indian Ocean and look at Diego Garcia and Camp Justice. Now I'm going to look over here across the EU. Pretty active right now. Have some SAM flights, so it looks like we've got more U.S. dignitaries coming out of, looks like the UAE. And I don't know who that one is. That's another U.S. air flight. British, no, that's Spain on their A400. So that's that big high wing turboprop. Looks like a C-141, old body style, you know. Some more Reach aircraft. A lot of U.S. Actually, there seems to be a lot of U.S. activity in all of this. I'm not seeing as many foreigns now. We got some Spain, little French stuff, but for the most part, a lot of British. One Italian who looks to be on ground in Italy. So, all right, so let's go look at, we're going to look at Guantanamo Bay quickly. It looks like we still have Sun Country came in. Let's see here. That actually looks like it's coming in today, and we'll be rolling back out. So this one, Orlando International 757. Now, typically when I see these from Orlando, now notice I don't see that on the arrival board, which is kind of interesting. Notice it just shows up here. So that is National Airway or National Cargo out of Orlando, but it's going back to Orlando. So typically the flights that I'm seeing come in and out of Orlando have been tied to juries and jury pools. So I just find it interesting that there's nothing showing that one coming inbound. Okay. And so this one is a Sun Country coming from Jacksonville, not completely out of the norm. So the Naval Air Station, so that's where all our JAGs come out of. This is our regular contractor flight that goes to and from Lauderdale to Guantanamo Bay. And then this is our standard 76300 cargo bird that comes out of Norfolk, Virginia every Friday. So that looks normal. Outbound looks normal, except for that one right there. And it is looks like it's departing today at 4:43 p.m. Arrives Orlando 6:51 Eastern. So that just normally you see one for one. So that one I don't know. That is a interesting. I'm going to click on it just to see where it's coming from, if we have any history behind it. So nope, we do not. So it looks like it's a one-off. And okay, so there's that one. Now we're going to go take a look at, what do we have? This, okay, so this is Diego Garcia. And if you notice, this is the same Air Transport International, same carrier that we see going into Guantanamo Bay. All right, those are DoD contractors. And so it looks like another cargo flight coming out of Yokota Air Base in Japan, I think is where that is. So we will see where that one, let's just take a look at it real fast, see if it pulls it up. Air Transport International. So I don't think anything, doesn't look anything nefarious. Looks like a standard. It's probably your normal route of content coming in, you know, supply run or something. So, but we're going to continue to watch this. For those not familiar, Diego Garcia is out here, as I misquoted last time. It is the Indian Ocean. I don't know why I said South Pacific, because I was thinking of Kwajalein, but Indian Ocean. It's out in the middle of nowhere, and it's a great strategic location for us to launch B-52s and B-2s and everything else inbound to this area and up here in the Horn of Africa for support. So, all right, now I'll go look at our Kalita charters, N331CK. It is currently exiting the Dominican Republic. Looks like it's headed back to Miami. And so it is still doing that same Dominican to Miami, Miami, Dominican, and then every once in a while it pops over here into Haiti. I don't know if these are good guys or bad guys, folks. I'll be honest with you. They actually may be heading over here back to Port-au-Prince, but or sorry, to the DO. Actually, no, that is Port-au-Prince. Okay, so not sure. These guys are definitely former farm birds, and so when I see them doing stuff, I don't necessarily trust it. So we'll continue to monitor them and see where they go. But they do every once in a while pop into Guantanamo Bay, which makes me think they are the good guys. But who knows? All right, so here is our Maxwell bird N312FU. All right, and so this one, it actually just came and landed about 19 hours ago, but notice where it came out of, the Grand Caymans. So it went from Grand Caymans down to, or back to Lauderdale, which is an interesting flight because we don't see them very often go down to that area. And so don't know what they were doing there, but also noticed that it came out of Austin, Texas before that. And then it went down to Grand Caymans from Austin. And so we know this area right here, if I'm not mistaken, both of these areas right here are kind of bush country, right? So interesting though. It looks like it went from there down to Grand Caymans back to Lauderdale. So I don't know what happened there, but just a data point, interesting to watch. We seem to see these things continue on with their activities to all of these little Caribbean islands. And all right, so now let's talk about our sniffer bird, our Joe Biden Marine One aircraft. So this is right now, currently, it's sitting in Amarillo, Texas. So that was a little north of where we were expecting. So POTUS, if he was here in Texas, he would have been, I think, somewhere right in here. I think is Dias, Abilene area. So it was a little bit north, but this thing came out of Nellis Air Force Base and is heading to the east. So I would expect, I don't expect it to actually stay right there unless there's something going on north of us. But I'm expecting that thing to head eastbound. I imagine he's probably headed to, I was thinking possibly he would come down here into this area and do some smelling if POTUS was there. But doesn't look like he did. So maybe POTUS wasn't there. But it looks like, if he continues to head eastbound, maybe he's waiting for some weather to clear out or something, because that helo is really not good to be flying in this stuff over here. That's pretty messy. So, but if he continues eastbound, he may be heading that way in preparation for the inauguration. So, and then let's look at our Phoenix birds, right? These are the guys that we've been tracking all over Africa and Greece, several other locations. And so, looks like this one right now, as I look in closer to this, it's Phoenix Air 197, so it's PHA 197 is the call sign. It's en route, been flying for 3 hours 55 minutes, and it's headed to Stuttgart, Germany. So coming out of Bangor, Maine to Stuttgart, and so that is where that one is headed. And so don't know who's on it, what's on it, but we'll keep our eye on it. And so that is, for the most part, it, folks. I'm going to continue to, let me get out of here back over to the US. I'm going to continue to watch Nightwatch just to see what happens. This is looking pretty promising, actually, the amount of aircraft up. So we'll just continue to watch the skies and see what happens. I think as we get into the evening and into the weekend, things are going to continue to look perky and promising. So all right, so I took that off. We're at 237 as our final count right now for 12:33 p.m. Central Time here in the great state of Texas. So that's it. Hey, listen, you guys stay safe. Watch your sixes. Stay frosty over the weekend, because I imagine things are going to continue to get a little shaky and dodgy. And so I'm watching all my contacts and watch them closely, who are feeding me with stuff. And I don't necessarily go live and start telling you exactly what they're saying, because I like to let it marinate a little bit, because sometimes it just kind of eliminates itself. But I'm hearing there are talks about the emergency broadcast system firing off here pretty soon, and some other things taking shape. And just based on the increased activity I'm seeing with the aircraft, the uptick looks promising. So that's it. God bless. and monkey out.